Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the other side. As we record this, we are probably on our winter break. So hope you guys enjoy because I have a special guest with me today here on the other side. None other than the dashing huntress Astrid Arcana. Astrid, would you please say hi and plug yourself?
Hello! It's me, Astrid, here today with the wonderful Usabeni Yume. If you don't already know me, I am a fellow VTuber, stream on Twitch, mainly video games, um, mainly Bethesda specifically. Been playing a lot of Skyrim and Fallout and the likes. But I'm also a artist, specializing in character design. So if you want to see any cool art stuffs or you want to join the chaos, you can find me uh, at Astrid Arcana on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and DeviantArt as well. Just pretty
Yeah,
much everywhere. So yeah, that's me.
wonderful. Yes, check Astrid out. She's amazing. She's a little bag of chaos. Uh, really
Mm-hmm.
entertaining. And yeah, like Astrid said, I'm also a VTuber.
VTuber.
um, yeah, I do more writing than art, although I do like art. Currently writing Lucy's second book, currently on chapter 2, picking it back up again. I'm excited to work on it. I'm excited to way down in the trauma trenches with Lucifer himself.
Oh my
And
god. The
yeah,
trauma trenches.
yeah, I came up with that
That is
just
such a
now.
good
You like
that's a
that?
great term. That's amazing.
Yes, we can coin it for VTT use only.
Oh hell yeah. Patent pending.
Yep.
Patent
Yes. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with how the other side works, essentially, me and the guest will have a lovely conversation, and we'll be talking about our characters from Heralds, um, a homebrew world created by none other than the Merlin Magister himself. And he also DMs the game, and you can catch us every Saturday at the same time every Saturday. Uh, Obviously, it depends on your time zone, um, but it's exciting. We are currently, well, by the time we air this, it'll be on a different episode, but we're, I think, 60 episodes in. So um, yeah, get your
Yeah.
popcorn ready and get ready to marathon.
Hell yeah. It's all on YouTube, all the VODs
Yes.
um of the campaign. So if you're not up to date, it doesn't matter because you can get up to date or just jump in whenever because it's a good time regardless. It's great.
Yes. Very much so. Watch it by yourself, watch it with your parents. Although let them know that there are some parts that
I was gonna say,
yeah.
if you're very close and open with your parents, then yeah, maybe you'll be all right. But a couple dick jokes thrown about every now and then.
Some
Um,
hard jokes.
oh yeah, just we would recommend that the show is viewed by
For
people
audiences.
15 and over, like MA. I don't know.
Something like that.
I'd say MA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But enjoy it. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll feel everything in between. And yeah, and we're gonna talk about one of those characters from Herald's today, played by Astrid, Emeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
with Kendall,
yes,
my
Emeth
baby.
Kendall. And it's been, I want to say, over a year since we last did your first episode of Other Side, uh,
Yeah,
which you also check on YouTube.
I opened it and I found it,
Mhm.
and it was aired on. We put it on YouTube on 10th of August 2021.
Oh wow, so it's been more than a year.
It's oh god. Oh, I mean, by the time this airs, then
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
year and a half?
Yeah.
No, almost a year and a half.
Mhm,
Almost.
mhm.
Damn.
And so I'm excited to get back into it. It's been too long, and we'll just hop into the first question, which kind
Mm,
of goes back to that. What are some ways you think you've grown as a player since the last time we had our other side episode?
gosh. So pretty much like a year and almost a half ago, and a couple months, because it's end of November as we are recording.
Mhm,
So, geez, I mean, I would say not even just like a player, but I
mhm,
mean, even as a person, I have absolutely transformed. I am like a butterfly, and I was a stinky silly little caterpillar before. Uh,
mhm.
but just an adorable caterpillar, of course. Just good all the way around. However, um, now I feel just in regards to everything, including mental health, confidence in myself, the art I'm
Mhm,
doing, playing as Emeth with you guys,
mhm,
um, like so much, you know.
uh-huh.
I don't want to get too like deep and emotional, but like I'm seriously like, oh, I've grown so much. It's crazy, you know. But I
Yeah.
mean, to be more specific, as a player, um, I guess more confident. I think,
Mhm,
um, and because Emmett's such a badass bitch type
mhm.
character, um, and I feel like you know she's definitely changed, but that's a whole other topic. Um, but I think for me, it's uh having faith in myself,
Mhm,
maybe. Because I'm thinking like as a player, like what does that mean for me?
mhm.
Ugh. Um, I
I
don't
think you're
know.
totally
Would
right.
you say there's
Yeah.
any um? Would you say there's any notable changes uh from me as a player specifically over the past year?
Yeah. So one of the things that I feel like I've noticed, and
Mm.
it's hard for me because obviously I'm not you, so I can only say
Yeah.
what I see.
Mm-mm.
But there's a few things that I feel like I've noticed, in that you seem to uh, dive a little bit deeper into what the other characters are saying and doing, and
Mm.
I've noticed that you take that more into account. Maybe like it means like you're more immersed into it, or maybe you feel more confident about who you are and who Emeth is, so that you're able to, respond more. Uh,
Yeah.
that's one thing I feel like I've noticed. Do you feel like that's right?
Yeah. That like that I guess I've yeah, exactly, grown more confident maybe into who Emeth is so that it's not me trying to figure out who Emeth is through roleplay, but I do that all the time. Literally everything I say as Emeth um makes me realize like, oh, that's something about her I didn't even know. And
Oh.
it's canon now, I suppose. Um but being able to interact with the other characters, um just as Emeth without thinking too much about like, oh, what would she say? You know, but
Mhm.
just being her and just being like, okay, Emmeth's chatting to someone and this is how she is, instead of pondering over whether that's right or not for
Uh-huh.
her. And because I guess, you know, with every single D&D character, not just for me, not I think for everybody,
Mhm.
um when you play them, when you um pop them into a game,
Mhm.
uh they are going to end up probably much different from how you intended. Would
Yeah.
you say that's right?
Yeah, that makes total sense because like even in real life,
Yeah.
the the way you are is not necessarily defined by other people, but you're shaped so
Mm,
much by your interactions with others that you can't just like totally live in a vacuum and have like a quote unquote character, right? Because your character in D and
mm.
D is basically how they interact with others. Otherwise, they kind of only exist, uh, in a vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Um
And on
yeah,
top,
so just yeah,
go ahead.
no. Oh, I was just going to say yeah, the interactions with all of you guys have just shaped what Emeth is, but without those interactions, or even because as we know, I've had Emeth for a few years.
Even
Um,
before
this
Herald's.
isn't her, yeah, this isn't her first rodeo. Um, playing with other, um, playing in another game. You know, even for a moment, she was intended as a one-shot character. But then I was like, oh god, no, she feels too good. She's too cool. I love her too much. I'm not letting her go. You are
uh,
not going fucking anywhere. You're staying right here. Um, but yeah, she is like in a vacuum. If I don't like role play with her, she's just like, okay, she's just the stuff I write down. Like, okay, she is this personality. She l- likes this. She doesn't like this.
mhm.
Um, but as she gets thrown into the situation of heralds, then I'm interacting with all sorts of people. She's having emotions, God forbid. Um, I know. Oh god, disgusting.
Emotions. My
Emotions for the
God.
weak. It's for the the stupid bitches of the world. Nobody likes emotions. Um, but yeah, no, she's having those, and it's changing who she is. So I guess if I played a different game with Emeth from scratch, she would be a completely different person than if I
Yeah,
played with another group of people or with another
definitely.
group of people. So I like that. I guess Emeth is now her own unique
Yeah.
work of art because she happens to be in this group. You know, she's one of a kind. Same with everyone's characters.
Mm.
If anyone had played their character in a different setting, they could be a completely different person now. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And as you actually point that out, it's actually really poetic in a sense, in that, everyone, not just D&D characters, but real life people always have like these core tenets about them. And
Yeah.
although they have core tenets, you pick up things from like your family, your friends, and the people you meet along the
Mm.
way, and they become part of you.
Mm.
And so that's exactly why, like, if you play Emeth in one game, it's going to be, you know, you're going to have the core parts, but they're going to be parts that you take from the other players and your friends that make like its
Yeah.
own unique version of Emeth.
It's legit. I'm like having a revelation about life. Um, um, where that is literally just how living works. And
You
as
take things from
humans,
your family and friends, and
mm,
yeah.
you legit. um w- you think about, oh, like we are who we are today based on like who raised you, or what kind of TV shows you grew up with, or who your friends were at school, and all these little things, can make who you are. Um,
Exactly.
which is exactly what happens to D&D characters, except um apparently comprehending that idea came to mind first and was more understandable with fictional characters in D&D, and then I went, "Oh my god, being yourself or like growing up and stuff is just like in D&D."
It really is.
Like, instead of, "Oh wow, D&D are like the way we grow in real life." No, 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 it's the opposite. Life imitates art, and art is D&D.
Nice.
Essentially.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and I think that kind of answers the other question that we had was, have you learned any lessons from Harold that you took into real life? And it seems like that was one of them. But is there any other ones
Yeah.
that you took with you? And it doesn't even have to be anything profound. It can just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely don't die and sell your soul to a dragon.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I feel
yeah,
like that's quite a handy tip. Just
yeah,
don't sell yourself to a dragon,
yep.
cuz that is really bad.
Will change the
Usually,
whole course of
unless
your
it's
life.
a it literally will, or end it
Mhm.
many
Multiple
times.
times,
But
yes.
we don't talk about that. That's for a different episode. Lucy, Lucifer T. Burns, not naming names, Lucifer T. Burns. Um, um, but honestly, yeah, the first couple questions, reading over, the little list, freaked me out the most because they have more to do with me and less with Emeth. And I thought, oh god, I don't know myself. I don't. What the heck am I supposed to say about myself?
Oh.
Um, you know,
Mhm.
uh, about any lessons I've taken into account other than not selling your soul. Um, I guess I think
Mhm.
being able. I mean, I guess the obvious one is communication, right?
Uh-huh.
I feel like
Yes.
that's definitely a big given. Is just communication all around. Uh,
Mhm.
Other players, even to the DM, like if you don't know something, being
Mhm.
able to ask for help. That's actually what I was going to say.
Uh-huh.
Is me being me and a perfectionist and wanting everything to be perfect and amazing. Sometimes I darn ask for help. Sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, or I like to think, you know, uh, I've had the advice, or I know what I need to work on as a
Mhm.
person, is being able to rely, trust and rely on myself to just do stuff for myself.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
and not constantly be dependent on someone else all the time, because I am a clingy little bitch. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I am like, oh, I need someone else to make this decision for me.
Mhm.
I can't do this by myself, but the thing is, I actually can. I just have become so like squishy.
Squishy. I like that term.
Yeah. Whatever that means, I'm not sure. It's up to interpretation.
Mhm.
Um, I also have squishy cheeks on my face, so that also counts.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess definitely through discovering it myself or advice from Merlin.
Mhm.
Um, Uh, I've learned about being like efficient as well when it comes to combat.
Mm.
Sometimes I take too long because I try to make everything perfect, but like it just needs to be simple, you know? It's just
Yeah.
think about what I do, get to my
Uh-huh.
turn, I go bam, 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 boom, done.
Uh-huh.
And, keep it going instead of, all right, let me think in detail about what I need to do, even
Uh-huh.
though I'm just going to do the same thing as
Uh-huh.
if I said it quick.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, just being able to take on advice as well,
Yeah.
especially from other characters when
Mhm.
we're all giving each other pep talks because we've been doing a lot of that lately.
Really have.
Um, especially shit. I mean, I'm a hypocrite. I'm very much a hypocrite with pretty much everything I do. Because I am going to be cocky and say, I think I give freaking good advice. Or like
Uh-huh.
I give good mental support and advice to people who need it. But
Mhm.
it's so bad because I don't take my own advice. And because I know my advice is good sometimes. Then
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, when I tell people to take care of themselves and uh remember to um put yourself first
Mhm.
over um you know stresses maybe involving work. It's like no, you need to take care of yourself and take care of others. um but you need to there's a lot of good advice that comes
Mhm.
out of both my mouth and Emmett's mouth. Like Emmett giving the pep talk to um Orinala
Mhm.
about how she's not a burden in the group, or just stuff like this.
Mhm.
Or like to Rowan, or talking about her feelings, like I want to be this, Um,
Mhm.
definitely something I can learn from that is being able to one ask for help if I
Yeah.
need it. No, I don't have to do everything by myself. Yes, it's like obviously, yeah. If I try to be independent and do my own thing and not go to ask people to do everything for me first, that's good to be able to be independent. But if I struggle, then it's definitely okay to then ask help. And
Mhm.
I don't have to be alone. Um, I'm learning that from the game and from real life, I think, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Um, and two, what was I gonna say? Just uh be okay with I don't know. I can't remember if I was gonna focus on like talking about my emotions because well, I mean Emmett needs help with that. Um, just acknowledging again, as I always do, that I'm a hypocrite. From Emmett being able
Mhm.
to like God, if Emmett can talk about her emotions, if Emmett can stand up for herself
Uh-huh.
and do all this stuff, then there's no reason why I can't because I am her.
Mhm. Very true.
You know,
Yeah.
that's and I always talk about it. Or I always love to mention how all of our D&D characters, the many one may have,
Mhm.
they're I believe they're definitely little fragments of ourselves,
Yeah.
little parts of ourselves, and then cranked to 100, personified, characterized. Um, so Emeth is definitely, if you take the times that I am cocky and on top of the world,
Uh-huh.
and then personified and exaggerated, but
Mhm.
also maybe definitely as once again I'd say lots of D&D characters are what we want to be, or an ideal kind of version of ourselves.
Uh-huh.
It's it's like a cure for dysphoria sometimes.
I see.
Um,
Uh-huh.
And especially, especially for um non-cis people as well, to be able
Mhm.
to help that gender dysphoria sometimes and play, you
Yeah.
know, a character that they can be themselves as, which is really cool. It's
Mm.
nice. So I think Emmett is, um, you know, obviously to a certain degree of kind of what I want to be in that confident, won't take shit, super freaking sexy. Um, I mean, not like I'm not, anyways. Uh, um, but um, yeah, definitely that part of me.
Mm.
And same goes for all my other characters. I have a character that's pretty much um the me using big words and me actually being smart part of myself. It was a warforged named Bullet,
Oh,
and
yes, bullet.
yeah, I was gonna say either you or anyone listening may have heard me mention Bullet, um, who he's the absolute love of my life. I love him. He's a he's a gunslinger. He's legit at this point. Um, or where I left off with him, a robot
Mhm.
cowboy, and that is
Yeah.
so cool. Initially, I was like, no, I don't want to lean right into the cowboy thing.
Mm.
That is that kind of cheesy. I don't know. Don't give him like a cowboy hat. I look back now and I'm like, Astrid, what the fuck? Give him the cowboy hat. That's cool. Oh my god, make him a robot cowboy, and
Uh,
he is now, which is awesome.
amazing.
Um, but he's just like so socially and emotionally inept. It's so funny. The pinnacle of awkward.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
Another part of
all these
yourself, I imagine.
characters. Yeah, yes. Oh my god, yes, yeah. That as well is, because he's a warforged trying to figure out. Oh god, what are emotions?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like they have emotion, lore wise, but um uh I guess it's still like that little self-discovery journey
Mm.
of what what is this feeling? Um Pretty much just the whole time just figuring out what's going on. But yeah, is that we all have a little bit of our characters inside of us, or more like a little bit of ourselves in our characters. Both
Very
ways
true.
work.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, definitely with Emeth, because I'm her, she is me. Um, although like she is her own person, and also she's not real, but also just like a figment of my and all of our imaginations.
Uh-huh.
Um, but even so, we can learn a lot from each other.
Mm.
100%.
Yeah.
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 It really is, as you say, like an extension of yourself and a way to
Hmm.
like explore, things that you probably don't get to normally do.
Yeah.
And even going back to your point on like exploring and stuff, I think like that's what like all kids do as well is they role play things so that they can kind of like experience situations in like a safe space
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. Just like, oh, yeah. Oh God, what's the term? Like, oh, uh, playing pretend. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of the word pretend. Or better yet, which I have obviously plenty of experience in. I'm an expert. Is just using dolls and
Yeah.
toys and
Uh-huh.
setting up scenarios and
Mm.
being like, okay, your doll, your character hates me, and we're gonna fight, and
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just fun stuff like that is
Mm.
pretty much like a childhood early version of
D&D.
what we do every single
Yeah,
week.
exactly. Yeah. And so like getting more into like the getting into character part and role playing, what is it like playing it with? I've always been curious about that.
Oh, I'm just thinking how. What's curious about it?
So like
I
if I
want to.
could,
I want to know what you want to know.
yeah. So like if I can give you an example of how it feels like playing Lucy sometimes,
Yeah.
maybe you'll uh kind of understand what I'm trying to get at and why I'm curious is
Mm-hmm.
because like when I play Lucy,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. And not in like the hard like oh I don't want to do this way, but it's a
Well,
hard
motif
character for me to
way.
play. Yeah, not that way.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, he's a difficult character for me to play
Yeah.
because he oh at least at this point, right? In the beginning, it was kind of easy because he was pretty one track minded, where he was like
Mm-hmm.
very much like Johnny Silverhand, like Arasaka, but in this case, it was just
Yeah.
Markovia.
Literally, I keep forgetting that this guy is just. It's just him.
Yeah.
Lucy just is Sylvain.
Uh huh. And then
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and then all like E was in the background as well. But then it kind of
Mm.
turned around because Eve became an actual person to come back, and not just as an NPC, as an actual person. That's the first
Yeah.
thing. And the second thing is Markovia does not uh the Markovia that he hated and that he spent so much energy, blood, sweat, and tears, opposing doesn't exist anymore. And so uh essentially like all the things in the past that kind of defined him uh aren't there anymore because he didn't ever think he was going to see you again, right? But now she's here. He always in my head, I never expected Lucy to kind of live past the revolution of Markovia, and but then he did in his
Mm.
own way, and so it's hard for me to play because I don't know what he wants to do now.
Oh. Yeah.
It's,
Lucy's the embodiment of like, man, I thought he'd be dead by now. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? When I'm alive. Low
and
key, like, yeah.
he really literally woke up one day and the source of his anger is was gone. And it's like, okay, what do I do with all of this? What do I do with all of this energy that I used to put into it?
Yeah. Existential crisis.
And so it's difficult for
But
me.
mm,
And yeah, and in a very supportive group like this one, like uh, he, it's not something he had before because he was literally traveling for alone for quite a bit,
mm,
and so yeah, everything here is new to him.
yeah. Ah, well, then I
It-
guess in regards to
yeah.
what is it like playing Emmerth? Um, I guess. Um, it's I don't know. I guess
You find it easy,
empowering.
empowering.
I guess yeah. Um, it sounds like I'm going full like girl boss. Like, yes, it's good and empowering to be a good, strong woman. um, um, all that kind of stuff. Um, but not like in like the sick kind of women's rights kind of way, but just, you know, nothing to do with that. Just like her personality,
Mhm.
just being able to see. I was gonna say be confident in myself. However, Emmeth's like low key crumbling, uh, uh, and not as confident. In the beginning, yeah. Um, but now there's shit that she's got to do.
Mhm.
Um, but and, you know, she's probably hit her rock bottom when it comes to all that. But you know, definitely since that talk, um, you know, that talk that she had with Roland,
Mhm.
um, gave her a little bit of a spark of, yeah, you know, I can't do all this shit, you know, because I've got everybody, I got all you guys and stuff here. So, um, yeah, I guess it's fun. There's a car. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Um, uh, I guess it's fun.
Mhm.
Um, you know, uh, it's I mean, 'cause I'm just like thinking, you know, like Lucy's a harder character for you to play. Um,
He's also to add to that, he's also a sad character for me to play.
oh yeah. God, the saddest fucking boy ever. Jeez. Um, well, I guess Emmett is. I do find it sometimes difficult to play Emmett
Mhm.
because we're very similar, but we're also extremely different.
Mhm.
More so different than similar, I'd
Mhm.
say.
Mhm.
Um, uh, because she is or can be more standoffish, and she would make decisions that I know I wouldn't make. Um, you know, if I was straight up inserted into the situation, what would me, Astrid, do as opposed to what she would do? So sometimes it's hard where I have to go against my gut. And
Mhm.
I try to do that. Sometimes I give in and I just do what Astrid would do. And
Mhm.
then sometimes I'm like, I haven't been true to her because it's not what she would do. Um, which is the more reckless, bitchy, or mean option. Because, you know, like, if she wants to tell somebody, can you, like, fuck off? um,
Mhm.
like, I can't do that.
Mhm.
I can't do that. I'm too nervous. Like, yeah, I'm an extrovert, but I'm also, like, tapping my index fingers together, ooh woo, uh, nervous sometimes, depending on it, especially if I don't know somebody.
Mhm.
Whereas Emmett has that confidence and that suave, like, oh, I don't care what you think about me.
Mhm.
Um, actually, yeah, that's probably it. Because that's a big thing I've been talking to, um, you know, everybody about,
Mhm.
um, or even mental health professionals and such about. My biggest issue, everything comes back really to I care about what people think about me.
Mhm.
That's like my biggest issue, I
Uh-huh.
think. Because then that's like, oh, there's my perfectionism. You know,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Oh, there's um that person that I'm trying to constantly appease and make them think good of me and not hate me. Um,
Mhm.
you know, that comes back. I can't stand the thought of people not liking me, you know. Um,
Mhm.
I definitely share that trait with um let's just say it's in my bloodline, kind of. Um, it's not
Interesting.
an unusual thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's human. It's a very human thing.
Mm,
Um, but I guess because I just feel it to such a severe degree that it's like controlling, corrupting me almost, that it like affects
uh-huh.
everything I do. So I think it's a nice freeing feeling to be able to play Emeth, who
Mm,
actually doesn't care what other people think.
mm,
Like, and if she does, it's not for the same reasons.
mm.
Um, you know, it'll be not because like, oh, if someone hates me, it's not because, oh no, they don't like me. Woe is me. It's, oh, they don't like me, which means I can't like use them as an access card to get into that cool party, or I can't. Like if I'm kicked out of a bar, kind of thing, as opposed to, oh
Mm,
god, I'm worried what the people of the city will think of me. It's, man, I can't get back into my favorite fucking bar. Shit,
mm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's definitely me self-inserting. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? God, when you just no, self-inserting's kind of it. Like, no, not dissociating. Just kind of like when you like live through someone else, like when you block out your own reality and just kind of throw
uh,
yourself into another sitch.
yeah, I don't know what the term is. It
Ah,
could
yeah,
be
it's on the tip of my
dissociation.
tongue.
I'm not sure though.
Yeah, it's escapism.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I definitely think that's it. Um, yeah, because me, I also have like such an escapism complex as well.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, getting to play Emeth, uh, I would definitely say is that for me.
mm,
Which I think also then like low key ties back into the whole what can you learn from your character, or what
mm,
can I learn from Emeth,
mm,
is I want to be able to break the bridge, or connect the bridge, bridge between worlds, and instead of completely separate, um sit down, have a coffee in the middle of that bridge with Emeth and be like, so can you like teach me about not caring about what others think, and then I can tell her about, hey, asking for help's okay, you traumatized bitch. uh um yeah, yeah, so that's pretty much that.
Yeah. And if we take another kind of like lesson from what you just said, is that um it seems that talking about yourself helps you understand yourself better, and
Oh
by
yeah.
understanding yourself better, you also become more confident. So maybe
mm,
we should, uh, obviously not in this other side, but
mm.
maybe overall we should just talk more about Astrid and what Astrid's like.
That's a great idea. I love talking about myself, as we all know.
Yeah. And yeah, so we'll save talking about Astrid for another time, because we
Yeah.
still want to talk a little bit more about Emmett. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is there anything that you do to get into character of Emmett? Because I know you have a Spotify playlist.
I
But is there anything else that you
do.
do?
Occasionally I'll listen to it, but I think, I guess, so I think in regards to like a pre-ritual of sorts, um, it's kind of like when I do like drama at school, um, or not even that, just everyday life. Whenever I go to chuck on like an accent, there's always a trigger sentence.
No.
You know what I mean? Like if I want to like break it to a certain accent, there's like a little phrase to say in that accent that I just kind of know really well that'll um make me be like, oh, okay, I've got the feeling, I got the vibe.
Mm.
Um, I think the equivalent of that for Emeth is honestly like physical in the way I'm sitting.
Really?
Like it's like a mind. It's full on mindset. The
uh,
way that um the way that I kind of just vibe out and sit definitely like kind of chucks me in.
mm,
So, however, she would sit like confident, where kind of shoulders back. I don't know, cross legs, or she'd probably put like her feet up on the goddamn table, or um, yeah, almost as though I just like if I was LARPing her,
mm.
just to kind of physically pretend I'm her.
Mm.
Immediately as soon as I like either like lean back in a chair and be all cool with my puffed out chest or whatever, and
Mm.
you know, both for confidence and because she is just like sex appeal as well.
Mhm.
Um, it's like boom, mindset. You are now a sexy bitch. You
Yes.
can now do it.
Uh-huh.
Go. Like, yeah, I've never like thought about it or even like said it out loud. Like and then I'm just like, wait a minute, I kind of like, like sometimes it's subtle
Mm.
where I'll just like, I don't know, like tip my chin up, like nothing really.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
but I think that's like enough for me to get into it
Yeah.
in a way.
I get you.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting
Yeah.
to see you play D&D in person.
Oh God, no. I'd be bloody superstar. This is where I want to LARP so badly. Oh my God, the music theater background, uh, just like love attention. Um, if we're gonna be stereotypical, I'm a Leo.
Lior.
I'm a Leo. Um, then yeah, which is why getting like hand tracking from a model as well was sick, because I'm like, yes, talk with your hands, move a
Mm.
lot. Um, so go, yeah, and just like, even if people can't see us, I still got facial expressions going. I'm on like a TV set.
Mm.
I am, I am acting for a show right now. Everybody's watching, even though they're not, but they are, but they're not,
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited because I do hope we play D&D this coming winter, and I get to see that.
My God,
I'm
yeah,
very
because
excited to
now,
do
like, I'm
so.
terrified. I'm like, oh, fuck, there's pressure now. Oh, God, okay. Uh,
Yeah, because
yeah.
um, yeah, I've never played D&D in person either.
No,
Uh,
because this is your
Um,
first game, so
yeah, and
which is wild.
and yeah, I don't kind of like adopt like another mindset. Kind of in the sense that you do with Emma, like, oh, I'm a sexy bitch now. Yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
do that with Lucy.
I mean, you look the same dude. You don't need to. You're already there. Like,
And yeah, I don't know about that, but I think it'd just be really, really interesting because there's so many like uh body things of body language, even minute ones. It doesn't even have to be like something major like putting your feet on the desk, but sometimes even just the way like
Yeah.
someone's sitting, uh,
Yeah, literally that.
yeah, like these small things that obviously I don't get to see, but I'll get to see in real life. And yeah, that's another thing is like we have to like describe facial expressions and all that stuff. But when you play in real life, you can display those, uh, in
Mm,
person.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. Um, and yeah, I know the Spotify playlist is part of Emeth. Have you added any new songs lately?
Tweaked it a tad, I think. I still feel like it is an unfinished masterpiece. Um God. But looking at it, um most recent, 6 days ago, I put Make Me Wanna Die by the Pretty Reckless on there. Which I've listened to for years. Um but if anybody doesn't know the band, um little Mary Lou, no, Cindy Lou, shit. Cindy Lou from The Grinch, the
Oh, really?
movie. She is the singer.
Oh, no way.
And Taylor Momsen, she is like
Oh,
got
that's
such
Taylor
an
Momsen?
edgy,
I
yeah,
didn't
an
know that.
edgy gothic look to her. Um, and she's got great vocals that just suit the more rock metal genre so well. Um, so that was a sick surprise. I was like, what the Cindy Lou? um, but yeah, so I was listening to it and I'm like, this could be interpreted. Mainly because I was like, oh, big yeah, Del Noah.
Mm,
There's like a lot of kind of like hate songs, which like a few hate songs, um, which yeah, really, if you listen to it, it's obviously some of them are catered towards, oh, it's about a romantic partner, it's about your ex, blah blah
mm,
blah. Like how every song is a love song,
mm.
almost.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah, I'm making this about my demon adopted mother, essentially. Um, so yeah, making it about like Del Noah as opposed to, you know, um, an actual romantic relationship or anything that she's had.
Mm,
Um, that's like the newest edition, and I still want to tweak it a little bit, but um, it's great because of there's two songs that have lasted the longest since I first made the playlist.
mm.
But is when I first made or when I first obtained Spotify.
Uh-huh.
Because I already had it made because Merlin already had Spotify, so I'd
Mm,
made the Emeth playlist on his account. Um, and then when I got my own, I was like, oh, I can make that now. So then I just replicated it.
nice.
Um, and they were added on. The date was the 30th of August, 2019. Um, which are the songs both by Marina, Prima Donna, and Bubblegum Bitch, which cover kind of both aspects of like, kind of that like, give me everything. Um, I'm a, I'm number one. Fucking love me. Just yeah, and then yeah, just essentially they're just good fits, and I'm just like I can't get rid of these. Um, and there's just kind of like a weird mix of stuff, you know. Uh,
Mhm.
Obviously for the sex appeal, Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. Um, and yeah, a whole assortment of things, but eventually, eventually when it's completed, or I feel more confident in it, then um we can go through it again and stuff. So yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, I've listened to, obviously probably not the newest iteration, but I've listened to some of the older iterations of it. Yeah, a lot of good songs on
Yeah.
there.
I'm glad.
Yes. And so now that we're diving more into MF, I'm sure this is on a lot of people's minds, but
Yep.
Rowan and Emmett. Rowan
Yeah.
and Emmett. Um, yeah, tell us more about that. What are your
Emma's
thoughts
got a
on it?
girlfriend. Emma's got a girlfriend. Oh my god. Um, yeah. I mean, like, shit, where the frick do I even start?
I have no
Um,
idea.
like,
uh,
I mean, first off, you know, one, moving on from Lucy, um, because Emma's just obviously sad knowing, oh, it sucks that I feel like I got, you know? Whereas like, oh, this is nice. Maybe I could get something that works out. And then like realizing, no, like he should be with her, you
mm,
know? It's like, oh, that's so fucking not fair that, I really care about this guy. But like I know, like, oh, like he should be with her. Like it's not fair. And yeah, so obviously her coming to terms with her emotions, um, made her pissed
mm.
and salty, but also because, you know, Lucy kind of just left because she's like, I don't want to hurt you guys. I don't want you guys to deal with my trauma and all my issues. And I was like, shut the fuck up. You made me go through like that much mental contemplation because you didn't want to like hurt us or whatever. Like, you fucking idiot. We've gone through a literal, a like a civil fucking war, like an actual war. What? Shut up, you dumb bitch. Like, yeah. Yeah. So obviously she was salty about that, but uh she talked about her emotions, both drunk and sober, and has gotten to the point where she's like, I could still, um we're still good friends. And because I think we you know both know, and we all know in the Heralds group for a fact that, like, it doesn't matter how much we piss each other off. I think we're in it. We've stayed by our each other's sides through so much shit that it's like, yeah, we're stuck. We're not leaving. We've come to know each other and care about each other, so we're not leaving. So Emeth being like, okay, we're on good terms. Um, it's no one's fault.
Mm.
Sometimes shit just happens. Um, and r- right person, wrong time, but not really. But it's like wrong person, right time, like wrong person, wrong time. I don't know. Um,
Oh.
and but as for friendships, um, right person, right time for all of us, really, kind of. Um, but I guess, yeah, Rowan being a little ooh woo girly, and her being in love with my deceased mother is kind of weird. Um,
Mm.
but like it's like obviously like it's weird, but it's not weird. Where it's kind of it's like sad and poetic. Like it sounds like a Shakespearean plot kind of thing. Um,
Uh-huh.
with fantasy because obviously Rowan's like what is she, a couple 100 years old or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
she's older. She's a cougar. She's with a younger woman. Um, you know? Um, but um yeah, I guess just I don't know, saw how, wonderful and pure and sort of righteous of a person she was, which is also I think it's definitely a good balance. Um uh I think where we're very contrasting personalities. Don't you think?
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
think they contrast. Although I am one of those kind of believers that contrast. It's kind of like you've mentioned this before,
Mm.
where the partners are not supposed to like be a completion of you in a sense.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's what you're saying, but yeah, in my head, like contrast, it's like if it's there, then it's there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
do
not
think
so
you guys
much like a
contrast though.
completion.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much a completion. Um, I think definitely the better term is balance, you know?
Mm.
Um, I mean, it's like me and Melon. You got the very very kind of logical, planned, um, uh, frog. Uh,
Uh-huh.
very, um, yeah. Look, left brain, right brain is not
Yeah.
an accurate concept, as people
Mm.
have come to realize. Like scientifically, it's not really like a thing.
Mm.
But stereotypically, left brain,
Yeah.
stereotypically, just for like comparison reasons, is like Merlin.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm the extroverted crackhead making dick jokes and squealing about little cute plushies.
Mm.
Um, so a lot of contrast, but at the same time, we're also very similar. We've become very similar over the bloody over 8 years.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
we started laughing like each other now. I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god,
really?
it's
Oh,
like
I need to pay attention to that.
we've both been like wheezing,
Oh,
kind of more,
interesting.
just like oh, bloody funny. It'd be kind of hard to hear through Discord because it only picks up voices, and sometimes my laughs and stuff are just silent.
Mm.
Uh, I think yeah, those are the best ones when you're laughing so hard that you look like you're losing it, but you're not making a sound at all.
Uh-huh.
Those are just the best ones. Um, but yeah, in the same way that me and Merlin are contrasting, so is Emeth and Rowan, where they do share a lot of similar traits.
Mm.
Um, but it's not so much that they need to complete each other. It's for sometimes when one of their personality traits doesn't suit or fit the situation, um, or they struggle with something that they're naturally not too good at.
Mm.
They're a little bit more like inept at doing this, whatever. Then that's always the opportunity for the other person who's like, hey, I'm more knowledgeable, or it's a lot more, I have that trait a lot stronger. Um, I can kind of help with that, like you're struggling with emotion. Hey, I'm really in touch with my emotions, you
Mm.
know, let me
Yeah.
help you. So definitely that kind of that kind of balance I think
Very
is
well
good
put.
between them. Like Rowan's very um a lot more uwu shy, which is adorable. I love it so much. Um like, oh god, I can't look at boobs. I can't look at Emma's amazing cleavage because I'm so shy. Oh my god, I need to make a wisdom saving throw shy. Um uh she's like, I will not dishonor her. It would be so bad of me. I can't do it. I can't do that. And I was like, I mean, just look at my tits. You're allowed to. You can do that if you want to. Like,
Mhm.
like, it, you know,
Mhm.
if Emmett gave her full permission, it's like, you know, did you want to cop a feel or something? Like even Oscar be like, go on. Wrong.
Mhm.
No, 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 I can't. Uh, um, just like them helping each other be more of what they want to be, but can't be on their own. Back
Mhm.
to that whole asking for help.
Mhm.
Rowan giving emotional advice to Emeth
Mhm.
about like it's okay to cry and stuff, and Emeth teaching Rowan you need to be able to like let go, and um you need a rest sometimes. You don't always have to be on guard. It's okay to just like kick your feet up, relax, get a little bit wacky and wild. It's good for you, you know. There's definitely, yeah, that contrast between the two of them. Um, and it's also just it's hard to really say a lot because the episode. I mean, we got a good old fade to black.
Mhm.
Um, which I personally don't even know if that means yes or no it happened.
Oh
You
my
know?
gosh. Uh-huh.
I feel like it just would have been like spooning, adorable, and
Uh-huh.
just, going to sleep next to each other just for comfort, which,
Mhm.
um because as I know, um you wanted to mention about me feeling scared
Mhm.
during the game.
Mhm.
Um um yeah, it was friggin' Merlin scared the shit out of me with the bloody threat on behalf of Erdie, the little bitch. She's horrendous. Um, because I just love Rowan's character so much, and I just love, you know, also how so much she's done for Emeth,
Mhm.
and how just like loyal she is, and Emeth's just kind of like amazed by that, I guess. Like, oh my god, she's done so much for me. Like, why? What did I do to deserve this? Um, and then a potential threat from Erdie. Well, I mean, it was a threat from Erdie. Like, oh, that's something I can take away. Um, and was like, no, 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 like I care about her way too much. I can't
Mhm.
let it go to waste.
Mhm.
Um, you know, like I got to make the most of it. Whilst we're alive and well. Um, so yeah, obviously that's why Emeth was scared, and I mean, I was scared role playing because I'm like, holy shit, like I mean, it's nerve wracking. Like, I don't know how to. Am I? What do we? What do we do? Like, am I asking someone out? Am I flirting? What am I doing? I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that is. What do I?
Mhm.
You know? I was just
Uh-huh.
like nervous because I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, what if Eureka doesn't want it? Or Rowan doesn't want it? Oh my god. And just, you know, just like the
Mhm.
sheer nervous, like panic. of that kind of sitch. So I was like, I was shaky. So yeah, pretty
Mhm.
much. But I mean, yeah. Oh well, what I was talking about with like because the episode ended just like pretty much there.
Mhm.
Um, I guess it's hard to say a lot about the relationship because it hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah,
Like it's
very true.
just blossomed.
Uh,
So yeah, we just gotta see what's to come, really.
yeah, that'll come later today for you and early tomorrow morning for me.
Oh my god, you're right.
Well, actually, if you're watching this, obviously not, but for us, it is.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Yeah, and I also yeah no I'll keep that for myself because that's a lazy thing. Moving on to the next question. uh, Emmett and the crown, whether it's the one from
Mm.
Pentica or the one from Schilberg. What is your plan for that?
I mean, we've seen her go through. Well, I mean, once again, um, I don't think there is a large amount of time from. Oh, I don't know, like depending on when this releases, and then if we have any more games in between that, um, regarding what's happened so far. Um, at the moment, she's after lots of emotional pep talks once again through Rowan. Um, uh, just decided to probably go for it because I think she knows that it would be best for lots of people. Um, I feel like, you know, I suppose sees like the empty nation, and she's like, maybe, I guess maybe I can do something that's um helpful. Um, which doesn't not sound like an Emma's priority. Like, I want to help people. Um, that does not sound like an Emma's kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but obviously realizing she cares about other people. Ugh, what a scary feeling. Um, um, yeah, I think she knows that if she does it, then it will be beneficial
Mhm.
for herself. I think. Um, I don't know if it's so much like I'm gonna make my mom or parents proud or whatever
Mhm.
or something. But I think she just knows like she's got to do it
Mhm.
because there's just like this empty nation of Pentica is just been stolen or taken away or destroyed, and I guess I can salvage that and protect other people,
Mhm.
you know? Um yeah, because she knows she wants to protect these people, the heralds, you know, her newly found family, that she should probably take the opportunity to help, all these other families. Um, whether they're blood families or bond families. Yeah. She's scared she's not good enough, but I think she's just learning now. Then, hey, people believe in me. And maybe I actually am good enough, and the only person that thinks I'm not good enough is myself.
Mhm.
So I guess shit. I gotta do what I gotta do, I guess. Um, Duty calls kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. I guess that's all I can really say about it. I don't know. What do you think?
I so when it first started kind of coming about, it was kind of like at the tail end when Lucy kind of like went away for his extended period of time. And I do remember, uh, I guess to give a little insight onto how I play D&D characters is I'd like to in some way or form address like other characters' problems. And I remember trying to do this Kieran. Like Kieran would ask Emeth a lot of times, like, Princess Emeth, you know, are you gonna do this or this? And so that was kind of my way of uh, for me to understand and also for you to kind of think about as well. Because it still seems like, and although it's not as much as before, that Emmett is still kind of like maybe she feels like she's committed, at least in word, but it doesn't feel like she's fully committed yet in like mind and body, and she's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Um, she's still
she
trying to figure out
is.
like what it looks like, what it's gonna look like when she does it. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
She's still got to figure out what she wants to do.
Mhm.
Oh, I think uh a good way of understanding is she's committed in word. She's at least, like told Rowan, like, I know what I gotta do. I'm going to do it. Like I'm saying this, so you need to help me follow through with this because I know I need to do it deep down. Even like, yeah, deep down she knows it, but she's still on the surface trying to find the confidence and the the faith to do it, um, to be sure in herself to do it. And so if she's forcibly kind of putting herself in, she's like, no, I've locked and loaded. Like, I've committed. There's no backing out now. So that'll give her the opportunity. She'll have no choice but to kind of learn and adapt.
Mhm.
So she's like locked herself in for it,
Yeah.
like willingly, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. She's kind of like put put the goal ahead of her, and now she's just thinking about how she's gonna get to the goal essentially.
Yeah.
Mhm. And once again, another thing that I'm sure will develop, although it is a little bit difficult now that we have like people after our asses, and
Yeah.
and it's and I'll ask this question later on once we get to the last one. Um,
Mm,
but like becoming the queen or whatever she wants to be, of a
mm,
kingdom is quite a bit different from what we discussed in the first other side, where one of Emmett's dreams was to like own and run a bathhouse. Is it still the same, or has it
yeah.
changed?
I'd say it's still the same. um, I'd say she's deaf. Um, Still wanting to do that.
Mhm.
Honestly.
Mhm.
Um, um, just in a different maybe location and maybe with some more friends.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe it's kind of like a metaphor for her obtaining friends or um learning that teamwork is okay. Um by I don't have to run the whole show on my own. It's
Mhm.
like if I was writing like an epilogue to a fanfic of it,
Mhm.
it's like 10 years later and Emeth is running her bathhouse along with Rowan and uh fucking I don't know, maybe Dante.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Dante's like oh my god, Dante's the manager or something. Like, no, that would be so funny. I could just imagine like this little guy sat behind a massive desk and just his head's poking out the top.
Mhm.
Um, something like that. So I think it's definitely one of those long-term goals that um is something she'll always kind of work towards. And I think it
Mhm.
might even be like a metaphor for, once there's a bathhouse, um, then she's kind of hit where she wants to be in life.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like even when she's like old and retired or whatever. Well, I mean, not retired, but like um, you know, doesn't matter when in her life it'll be, but once the bathhouse is kind of built, that's just kind of like I finally did it. Finally made it and I'm happy and content,
Uh-huh.
you
Interesting.
know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe like an actual idea that's kind of like a metaphor almost if you want to get poetic with it, which you're good at.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as you've been sharing stuff and doing this other side, I've noticed a recurring theme, which has brought to my head
Oh boy.
potentially a hard question for Emma to answer.
Oh
Would you
god.
would you like me to ask it?
Well, what am I gonna say? No.
You can. Okay.
No, no, fuck that. Ask it.
So a lot of times during this interview, you kind of mentioned about how Emma, likes to keep her friends, and she really values them. Like that. That much is very obvious. Um, and I've noticed that kind of when you describe a lot of her kind of goals or like hopes and dreams, a lot of times like you've described friends as being like pretty close, not just in terms of uh like with the relationship, but also like proximity. And so my
Hmm.
question is, what is Emmett? What are Emmett's thoughts if, like, let's say, for example, Dante, he does have his own job as the advisor of Markovia, right? And what if Orinala finds like, I don't know, like a family that she stays with? And what if Lucy goes ahead and does his own thing? And the group of people that she, once traveled with every single day of her life, what happens when they kind of not necessarily split up, but go their separate ways and do their own thing? What would she feel
Well,
about that?
first off, Astrid will cry a lot. Um, um, but it is once again um Astrid versus Emeth in feelings. Um, Emeth,
No, I also don't think they necessarily have to be different. I think Astrid and Emmett can feel the same thing, especially if it's something like that.
I suppose so. Maybe I would do what I think. I mean, obviously sad and distraught a little. or just sad that, things have to stop being the way they were. But knowing that knowing that they're not gone, it, it'd be like different if they died. If they don't, if they don't die, um, but they go do their own thing, um, and do what makes them happy, then I'd definitely be a lot more content. Or
Mm-hmm.
Emeth would be content with um the idea of um things going the way that they should, because I care so much about them.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be happy, and if this makes them happy, then Emeth will support it, I guess.
Yeah.
Knowing, like, like this part's over, but that's okay, I guess. Um,
Mm. It's hard to
because
think
like I
about,
can
isn't
just
it?
I don't like to think about it at all.
Yeah,
Um,
I understand.
God, come on, we're only like halfway there, right? Um, yeah, I don't like to think about it, obviously, or I'll actually start crying.
Mhm.
But you know, Emeth will be like, "It's okay, I can come visit you guys, or whatever," or I'll every now and then go to the potato farm, visit Dante and his mom,
Mhm.
or go, visit Orinala wherever she may end up, and every now and then, um, every now and then, I don't know, go on a sail with Lucy if he goes on his big old round trip around Iruvian on a ship, and and then maybe bump into Matif on the way, and
Mm.
um, you know, so and if things do end, um, eventually in the long term, um, if it's what's best for them, Emeth will support them.
Mhm.
But obviously, be kind of sad as I would be.
Yeah.
But knowing, it's not like I won't ever see you again. I
Yeah.
will. So I hope you do um what you want with life.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a great answer. And yeah, thank you for answering that. And that's why I had to ask if it was something you wanted to answer, because obviously it's a hard question.
That is okay.
Yeah. And so I guess this is a good time to kind of go into the last question, because now that you've started to think about the others in the group,
Mm,
what are her thoughts on everyone else in the group?
I mean, she cares about them. So cute, I know. Um, no, I mean, all right, going round table, I guess. Um, Rowan, um, already kind of talked about her a bit in
Mhm.
regards to she sees how faithful and loyal of like a person she is. Um, and she's so kind-hearted. Um, and Emmett's almost kind of like in awe sometimes, or
Mhm.
especially what the old Emmett would be like in awe. Like, why would you go out of your way, you know, so much for someone you don't know, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, but definitely hanging around her, she's kind of like, oh, I guess, it makes you feel good inside when you help people, and just looking after each other and seeing that that can be a good thing, a nice thing from Rowan. So she's definitely very inspiring. Um, Emeth won't admit it though. She might actually.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, like Emeth's changed so much. Like when I think of Emeth compared to when I first made her, compared to now, is they're completely different people. So it's like, oh, they could be hard sometimes, just like my
Mm.
teeth. Um,
Nice.
but uh, love and respect for Rowan, obviously,
Mm.
and wants to keep us safe because knowing how fucked up the world is and how fucked up people can be and fucked up shit people do, and she's seen fucked up shit, been a part of it, just with that upbringing and how cruel shit is, the world is, people like Rowan are precious, and wanting to protect that.
Mm.
Um, yeah. And then there's we got Lucy. I mean, we kind of know how she feels, and I've also talked about that as well. Um,
Mm.
cares about him, pissed that circumstances weren't right. Just when she's like, I'm kind of free of like my evil stepmother. Yay, I can go live my life. Leave to be my own. I've got the whole world to see. um, uh, yeah, so she's kind of like,
Mm.
this really cool, cocky fucking guy. Jeez. Who is this dickbag? Oh my god. Why is he on a clock tower?
May I may
um,
I may I make a comment on some of this just because
yeah,
I
of
play
course you
the scene?
can. Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you say like wrong place, like wrong time, I can't think of any like more fitting way to say that because the intent, right? I tried to
Mm.
let things play out naturally, and I don't think there was
Mm-hmm.
ever any intent for them not to work out, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that just some of them maybe he had a little bit more control over. But the first thing, one of the things was, his first time leaving, right? Which was
Yeah.
partly like, him not wanting to hurt everyone, but it was also him and having to save his mom, right?
Mm.
Like he obviously he could have waited and gotten everyone's help, but it was his mom and
Yeah.
he wasn't gonna wait for that. Second thing was
Mm.
Eve. Uh, I had no idea, and Lucy had no idea that Eve was ever going to come back, and obviously he didn't expect Eve to show up. Uh, when they were under the lake, because he wasn't there when Eve kind of like came to during that fight with Vutain, and yeah, and then the third time, uh, which was okay. I don't even remember if this is the third time, but yeah, a lot of these things like uh, he did have a little bit of control over the first one, but it's like all these unexpected things that just made it so it just wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah. It's just circumstances. Just
Yeah.
shit happens.
Mhm.
Literally.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I think that I just wanted to kind of throw it in there because he really had no intention of hurting Emmett at all. It just
yeah.
yeah, it was just a it's just that's just how it happened.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. It's just it is what it is. Um, and so yeah, already talked about that. Um, I guess she's Emma's coming to terms with not being bitter because she's realizing it's not his fault. He didn't want to like purposefully hurt me or anything,
Mm.
you know. Realizing, oh, just it just can't work out. Um, because I know he should be with someone else, you know? Um, if he remembers.
Yeah. It's
Um,
yeah, that's another story in itself.
it's another story. Um,
Also
yeah, and
because he
then
also had his own thoughts
Dante.
about that, but we'll save that for
Oh
another
god,
time.
yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, Dante, um, absolutely love him. Who doesn't? Um, yeah, who doesn't love this little guy? Um, uh, our favorite potato farmer. He's also just wholesome and precious. Um, very, he is very much the cute, adorable part of Wendy
Mm.
coming through. Um, the way she stutters for him is so good. Just
Funny to think that used to be
yeah,
an actual thing and then it was just adopted.
yeah. I guess yeah. Watching Wendy back when I remember when we first met her, and um, like Dante was just like this extension of her, of like adorable awkwardness, and now she'll be the one to make the really inappropriate dick joke. Um, you know,
Mhm.
um, she's becoming more like me, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know if I've created a monster or you know just
Mm.
yeah. But I mean, speaking of a monster like Dante, killing machine. However, that title might be given to Orinala. I think
Mm.
one of us suggested. I can't remember. um, but yeah, Dante also that same kind of um feeling for Dante in the way that Emma has for Rowan, where
Mm.
the world is cruel, but he's just too cute and innocent.
Mm.
Um, he's just like a sweet boy,
Mhm.
and just wants to help his friends. And Emmett's like, wow, I need to protect this little guy at all costs because what happens when you know what happens when there's no one left who's caring about other people, who cares about other people.
Mhm.
It'd be a little bit shit. And
Mhm.
just almost just like amused and entertained at how sweet the little guy is and how awkward he is. Kind of finding entertainment in him stuttering. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, Dante, you go ask if you go ask the go ask the bar Go ask the person behind the bar.
Oh.
Um, if you can have a glass of bofa.
Oh my gosh, no.
You know, like that kind
Don't
of
do
shit.
Dante like
Like,
that.
yeah, exactly. Emmeth would find so much stupid entertainment in that, so that's definitely on the table.
Mhm.
Um, and then yeah, finally Orinala, um, newest to our wonderful little gang. Um, and God, once again, thinking there's a lot of preciousness there,
Mhm.
and very sad to see the suffering
Mhm.
that she's gone through. You know, Emmett's pretty horrified, honestly, at some of the shit. You know, like both me, Astrid, and Emmeth are both thinking, like, holy fuck, what cruel fucking bastard would do this shit?
Mhm.
Um, that's not cool. Whoever, I guess it's Astrid, not Astrid's, like Emmeth's solution of sorts is um uh someone made her suffer. I'm gonna make them suffer too.
Mhm.
um so yeah, and just like bit bewildered as well. Emmett's bewildered by Orionala's sudden trust in.
Oh, I don't know you guys. I've only been awake like 2 days, but you're my best friends.
And Emmett's like,
Uh-huh.
what? Bitch, like, nah. I would have, like, if I had been her in a situation working up, not knowing anybody, I would have killed everyone by now.
Mhm.
I would have killed you all out of suspicion and fear of not knowing what was going on, who I was, or anything.
Mhm.
You know, I'd be a lot more panicked. So I guess respect to the trust and um, the trust and childlike kind of innocence, even though like she's grown,
Uh-huh.
but she's also almost just kind of like a little unaware of how the world is, whether that be just as her or because she doesn't have enough memories to know.
Yeah. Um, this is
Um,
this is this is
yeah.
interesting to hear from you because I already did Hilda's other side. So I have a little bit more knowledge about Ornal than you do. And yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see how as things just continue to progress, your reaction to all these things.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's a lot.
Can I give you like
There's
a
a
teaser
lot.
on what there is to still kind of get from Ornella?
Oh, if it is permitted, then yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely permitted. Whatever Hilda said that whatever she shares on the other side is obviously okay for everyone here.
Oh god.
And so
I would love a teaser then.
imagine, you know, someone's born and they just have a shitty childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that the next quote unquote family you meet, they're still shitty, right? But they're at least less shitty than the other ones. Then,
Yeah.
then that's like, oh, what? This is great when it's really not.
Oh yeah.
And Orinal is kind of that situation where she doesn't know anyone else other than what she had in the past.
Oh.
And then Hilda's like, what if Ornella meets someone nicer than her current group, what's gonna happen then? Or maybe they just serve better food than we do. And it's like, oh.
Oh my. Oh. No, I'm just bloody. No, I'm just bloody sad. God damn it, Hilda.
Oh, Hilda's got a lot more
Darn.
than that planned for you guys. Hilda's great at.
Ugh.
Hilda herself has proclaimed that she's great at fitting trauma in little packages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I am just having faith that we're as nice as we can be to her because we're willing to protect her, telling her that she's valid, and we're hoping that, God, I'm just would hope and assume that that's enough, right?
You do what you can do. You know, that's all we can ever do. It's just your best or whatever it is that you put out.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I've noticed as we kind of go through this how the questions have been getting a little more difficult and a lot more introspective.
Yeah.
And I think
You're making me
that
think. Jeez.
yeah, I think it's just an insight onto how deep this game gets. Because at the top layer,
Mm.
like everyone's having fun, and the characters are really cool and stuff. But also, all the characters are, they've been through stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's also a big part of Herald's is figuring that stuff out. And some of them come out with girlfriends, right? Some of them come out maybe not so good, but still working on it. And then
Yeah.
and then you get killing machines. So
We're working on it.
yeah,
It's a
and
work in progress.
yes, and yeah, it's a testament to how great the players are, I think, and also how great Merlin has kind of wrapped everything together. And it's
Oh yeah.
it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, and yeah, there's nothing
It
more that I can say
has.
than that.
No. It's great, All the from all the um confusing stuff, the confusing bullshit, to the funny sex jokes and um deep emotional contemplation of our existence. It's all been so fantastic.
Yeah,
And that's credit to everybody.
yeah, really,
Everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need to watch episode 16 again.
I like my sanity and I don't know. Man, yeah,
Merlin was
there's some
telling me all about
crazy
that.
stuff.
How you were really like kind of angry at him.
Oh my god, what about what?
We'll talk about it off stream, but
I think I
yeah,
know what you mean, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah. This was a really great other side episode. I will just say, Astrid. I feel like it's
Yeah.
yeah. I think once again it's a testament to how much you've grown as a player because, like I kind of mentioned at the beginning,
Yeah.
you've really started paying attention a lot to what other characters are thinking and all that stuff. And yeah,
Hmm.
it's shown here because look how deep into everyone's kind of like emotions we got.
Oh yeah.
And
It's a
so,
deep pool.
yes, it's a very, very deep pool. Some would say
Oh yeah.
bottomless.
Yeah.
um, And on that note, a very emotional, but genuinely heartfelt note. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to our viewers. And so, before we do so, will you go and hashtag plug yourself, Astrid?
Yes, I will. Um, Thank you, everybody, for listening to us ramble, or mainly, I guess, me ramble about Emmet in this case for this episode. Um, uh, as I said before, I stream, um, play a bunch of. I love me some open world RPGs. Like the Fallout games, Skyrim, Terraria has also been on the radar. Um, and I also make a bunch of art. So if you want to see mainly character art, um, from some cool stuff I'm doing, uh, in the background, you can find all that on my socials. Everything's pretty much at Astrid Arcana, one word. Um, and yeah, if you want to join the chaos, you can come and find my channel. I believe there's only one Astrid Arcana because that's all there is room for in this world.
I'll have to
Is
Google that
just
to see if there's any
me.
others.
I will send a hunting party to take out any other versions of myself. There's only room for one. And also, not only just like chaos from me in particular, but obviously chaos from our group and from the Herald's game. All the VODs are on YouTube, which is great. So much credit to Merlin, especially for making up and mocking up thumbnails for like everything and just being the manager of the whole shabam, the whole shebang. That's the word. Then yeah, that's all I got to say.
Wonderful. And I'm Usman Yume. I play Lucifer Theodore Burns, as you guys probably know. I do some writing, currently writing his second book. And if you're watching this, it's most likely the holiday season for all y'all. And so if this episode of The Other Side with Astrid is any indication of kind of what like life is, then yeah, take a lesson from here and cherish your friends, your loved ones, whoever they may be, and yeah, spend some good time with them. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're great. And yeah, I hope you. We all hope you enjoy your holidays here from VTT. Wishing you a happy holidays. And yeah,
Hmm.
thank you very much for coming today. And we will see you on the other side. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.